everyone, we are back with another Shop My Stash, and this one is going to be for the month of May. I am going to try to keep this snappy and not talk too long, so I'm going to share with you guys all of the products that I have used throughout the month of May, let you know what I think about them, and just any thoughts that I have. So here is a sneak peek of the first week. So the first product that I use for my primer, this is a Korean beauty product from the brand Peripera. This one is called the Blur Pong Peach Milk Blur. This is like a pink tinted primer. I actually think that this one is pretty similar to the one that I just reviewed from Flower Nose, the new one. The one that looks like this from the Shells Jewel collection. I actually think that these are pretty similar. This one was pretty expensive. This one was like $30. This one was probably like $5 or $6 when I purchased it. I don't know if you could still get this one, but I definitely think it gave a very similar effect. It's kind of like a peach tinted primer, and it just kind of like evens out the skin tone, and I really like that it has like a little peach scent to it. So this one I think is probably a little bit more moisturizing than the Flower Nose one, but if you're looking for like a dupe, this one was a pretty good one. Like I said, I don't know if they still make it or not, but I do like this one, so I definitely can't wait for this one to come back around in my collection. Then for my foundation, this was actually one of the last ones that I used for my April Shop My Stash, and I wanted to just continue to use it up because I had already like cut open the top lid of it and I wanted to finish it up. So that one I continued it on into the next week. So this was the e.l.f. BB cream. I have officially finally used this one up. I actually really like the formula of this one, but they don't sell it anymore, and I do not think it's the same as the CC cream that they sell now. This one I liked a lot more. It just really stayed on my skin really well, so this one you'll definitely be seeing in my end of year makeup empties as well. Next up for my concealer, I used the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser Color Corrector. This one, I have to say, I'm not a big fan of it. I think I just kind of got it in too light of a color, and it's one of those ones that isn't like a really like full coverage type of concealer. It has a little bit more of like a hydrating type of formula to it, so this is one that I am like trying to use up, and it has like that little sponge tip applicator, which I know some people love, some people hate. I kind of can go either way with it, but I do understand that like some people are like, you know, I don't really want like a dirty sponge on there for a long time, so this is definitely one that I probably wouldn't buy again just because I like things that are a little bit more higher coverage. I'd rather put on a tiny bit of a high coverage concealer than a lot of like a light coverage concealer, so this one just wasn't my favorite, and I think it really just kind of came down to the color. I think it's color 95, I'm not quite sure, but I don't know, take it or leave it. Then for my powder, I have showed this one several times before. This is the AOA Studio Perfect Setting Powder. I really like this one. I got it from Shop Miss A for like $1 or $2. It's a really good powder, love that one. Next up for my bronzer contour-y type product, I got this one I think maybe from like a BoxyCharm or something, I can't remember, but this is from the brand Zoeva, and this is called their Radiant Bronzer Highlighter. This one's in the color Lumi 3.0, and this one is kind of like a bronzer blushy kind of thing going on. So it is mostly a bronzer. I just kind of swirled the whole thing around, but this one does have a little bit more of like a peachy rose gold kind of like blushy color, but overall I did like this one, and it's been so long since I've used a powder bronzer. This one's actually like very pigmented, so I like this one, but it was definitely more of like a bronzer, like warms up the skin, obviously not like a contour type product, but overall I did like this one. But the first time I used it, I definitely like way overdid it, so this one is a little bit deceiving with how pigmented it is. Then for like my true blush that I used, this is one, I know I got this like in a BoxyCharm or some kind of subscription box. This one is from the brand Miss Fame. It's called the Blush Series Palette 1, and this one is a cream and powder blush duo. So I really like the color of this one, so I did use both of these colors, and I would do the cream first and then do this one on top. It's a little bit more of a darker, kind of like dustier warm tone blush, but I actually quite liked it a lot, and this one does have a very slight like satiny sheen to it as well. I typically go for matte blushes. Overall I thought it was pretty good. It's anything that I'm like, you must go out and buy? Not really. But I did kind of like having like the two products together. Then for my highlighter for the week, we use the Sheglam Clear and Bright Liquid Blush. This one is in the color Diamond Glitter. Now I really like the blushes in this formula. However, I do not like the highlighter at all. It is super like oily, like it breaks down the foundation. It doesn't give you like much shimmer or shine in the specific one. Like it just looks like a big grease like streak on my face with like a little bit of shimmer in it. Overall, I did not like this one at all. It's just like really, really bad. So I don't know how I'm gonna make this work as a product just to use it up, but for a highlighter, I do not like it at all. It's just like grease city. Like if you want to look like a really shiny grease ball, be my guest, but for a highlighter, I did not like that one. But there are different colors of this one that are good. This one is just like the original highlighter one, and it's just too oily for me. And it's the one that has like this kind of applicator. If you see the ones that have like the doe foot ones, those are typically better. So for my eyebrow products, once again, we were back to the e.l.f. eyebrow kit. I've had this for so long. This one is in the color Ash. I use the wax primarily. I don't like the powder. It's like kind of too light. It kind of like makes my brows look ashy. So I definitely stick to just the pomade, but this is one of those things that like I feel like it's going to last me forever. And I've had it for forever too. Then for my eyeshadow primer, we were back to the Cosmetic eyeshadow primer. I've talked about this so many times. It's okay. I don't love it though. So next up was a product I intended to use, but this was my bad. This is one from AOA Studio. It's called the Buttercream Gel Liner Plus Shadow. And it's in the color Rose. Now this I got maybe a couple years ago, but unfortunately it is all dried up. And I remember when I first used it, it was really, really good. And I'm so sad that I let these dry up. Luckily, they were only like $1 or $2, so it's not like the worst thing in the world, but these are like hard as a rock. It has like completely pulled away from the side. Like if I pull this out, it's no longer a cream. So unfortunately, I really hate that like I let this go bad because it was really, really pretty, but unfortunately I did. So this one is going to be going into the trash, or it'll probably go in like my haul of shame for the end of the year when I do my empties, and I'll show you guys all the products that like went bad that I could not use at all. So that will probably go in my haul of shame. So then for my eyeshadows, I pulled out one of like my oldie but goodie palettes, and this one is like a walk down memory lane. So this one, you guys, is so old, but I love it and it's still so good, and it's a shame that these do not exist anymore. These were like amazing back in the day and still are, in my opinion. This is the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette. If that just like rang a bell in your mind, that is the palette that I was using. This is an entirely shimmer palette, which is the only thing that like for now is not my favorite thing. Like I like mattes and shimmers together. But this is just such an iconic palette. I love it so much. There's like the neutrally side over here. There's the greens over here, which are so fun. There's a color down here that was like a dupe for like MAC's Blue Brown Pigment. And I always thought that was such a cool eyeshadow palette. So this one, you'll have to pry this from my dead hands to ever get me to get rid of it. I still loved it though, but I wish I would have put some matte shadows in with it to like redesign it for like modern times and stuff. I would totally add some matte shadows in here. And I swear, I feel like Wet n Wild tried to like kind of revive this at some point, but they just never did it as good as these. These were the original amazing ones, and I'm so sad that these don't exist anymore. Then just to go along with that one, I did throw in one more single shadow. I have been trying to work in some more single shadows and stuff into these just because they don't get a whole lot of love. This is one of my all-time favorite eyeshadows. This was from Ulta, and this is like one of their OG eyeshadows. This one is in the color Mint, and you can see I have like hit pan on this one. This is like one of the best shimmery mint eyeshadows ever. I remember like early 2000s, like there's this really pretty like shimmery minty kind of eyeshadow look that was always so pretty, and this is always what I would do. So that one I also worked into this week. I thought it would go really well with the greens in the palette. And then for my eyeliner, this one I only used like once or twice the week, but I did use it. This is from Sheglam, and it's the Cosmic Come Up eyeliner in the color, it's called Exocomet, and this one is like a hunter green kind of shadow. It was actually kind of pretty because it did kind of just look like a really black green on the eyes, but I used that one, and once again I thought it'd work well with the green. And then for my liquid liner, I was back to this one. I think I'm definitely done with this one now because this product is just so hard to use. I don't like it. In theory, I thought it was a really good product, but it's really just not. It is the Missha Palette Paint Liner. This one, I think also just because it's on the older side, it's very hard to squeeze up, and then you have to have like another brush to apply it, and it's very thick now, so it's just not working for me. Maybe I can use it as like a black cream eyeliner like base or something, like if I'm doing like a black smoky eye, which I don't do that often, but if I do, maybe I can use that as like a black base, but otherwise I'm not sure how I would use this. Alright, and then for my lip combo for the week, I used the Bodyography lip pencil in the color Rosewood. This is one that I got from BoxyCharm, and this is a dark lip liner, so I definitely had to use this one sparingly. I would like very lightly line my lips with it, but I mean, like if you were doing like a really dark ox blood kind of lip liner, this is definitely the color for that. But I have used up all my like brown nude colors so far, so I don't really have a whole bunch of like really wearable lip liners left, and I'm still trying to cycle through my whole collection, so I definitely have a lot of crazy lip liners coming up over the next few weeks just because I have not recycled my category yet because I haven't gone through them all yet. So I definitely have to get very creative at the colors that I use and what I pair them with. So to try to like counteract the darkness of that one, I used the e.l.f. liquid matte lipstick in the color, I have no idea because the sticker is not on here, so I have no idea what color this is. It is still a bit of like a dark mauvey kind of clay color, but it did work with kind of like blending in with that darker color, so it didn't look too crazy. And then I topped it off with this Bliss lip gloss. This one's in Gotta Nude Attitude. This one's actually a liquid, they call it a liquefied lipstick, which I think is the best name for it because it's not a liquid lipstick where it dries down, but it is like a melted lipstick kind of texture. And this one was super pigmented, so it also kind of helped lighten the look a little bit, but overall this was a very crazy lip combo. And then for my setting spray for the week, I once again used the Mystery Setting Spray. I feel like I'm never going to use this up, but it is what it is. Alright, so that is the first week done. Then for the second week, here is a sneak peek of all of that. So for my primer for this week, this was a product that I got from a subscription box. I can't remember which one, but this one's called the 2 Vegan Green Glow Up Cream. This is one that I really like the smell of it. Kind of has that like lemon lime smell. It kind of reminds me of like the Pharmacy Cleansing Balm. The only thing is like it's tinted green, but it doesn't give you any like green color on your skin, which I kind of wished it did because I thought it would kind of be like really good for canceling redness, but this one just kind of goes on clear. It does have more of like that wet like water cream kind of feeling on the skin, which is very refreshing, so I do like this one for the summer, but overall I don't know, don't really have any strong opinions on this one other than I really like the smell. For my foundation for this week, this one, I know I've had this for so long. This one I'm pretty sure I got at like a TJ Maxx or something forever ago. This is the Stila Illuminating Liquid Foundation, and this one's in the color 10 Watts. This one is very yellow on me, and it's very, very runny, so I definitely had to kind of like mix the color a little bit to make it work for me. So I did like some bronzing drops or like the blue color or like some white, kind of mixing stuff. So you guys know how I always like to mix stuff to kind of get a better match, but this one was so yellow on me and so runny. So I'm definitely gonna have to like try to make this one work for me, but I definitely do not love it as is. For my concealer, I have this teeny tiny little baby sample. This one I got forever ago. This one was a sample of a Korean concealer, and this one was from the Saem, and this one is called the Cover Perfect Tip Concealer. I actually quite like this one. It's pretty good, but it is teeny tiny, but overall it was a pretty good one. It's a little bit on the darker side, but I actually have been liking using like more of a skin tone kind of concealer for me because I for the longest time used one that was way too light. This one is borderline a little bit too dark, but it has really good coverage, so I do kind of like that one. Then for my powder, I'm pretty sure I've shown this one before. This one is from a Korean brand called Beauty Credit. It's called it's called the Lovely Two-Way Cake Matte. So this one is just a powder here. Oh, I forgot I had the sponge in here. This one, overall, it is a little too dark and yellow for me, but I usually just do this on the under eyes, so I try to just apply it lightly. So I definitely think I could have a better color match, but I have had this one for so long. I would be so excited when I finally hit pan on this. Then for my contour, I am using a Sheglam product. This is called the Silk Haze Cream Bronzer in the color Golden Sun. I recently hauled this one, and this one is a really good like contoury kind of color. Like, it's not so warm, so it's way better for like kind of creating depth and like, you know, hollowing out the cheekbones and stuff. So I quite like this one, and I love how thin it is, so it travels really well because it doesn't take up much space. And since it's like really big and wide, it's easy to get a brush into, which is sometimes my complaint of other products that I've tried, like the e.l.f. one. I just feel like the jar was too small, so I really actually like the package of this, especially with how thin it is. For my blush, this is another product I'm pretty sure I got from a subscription box, and this one is the Tarte Liquid Blush Tape, and it's in the color Pink. This one at first I wasn't so sure about it, but the more I've used it, I actually quite like this one. It does have that little sponge tip top like the Charlotte Tilbury stuff, and this one is a like kind of satiny shimmery kind of blush, but not too crazy, but it can definitely like double as like a kind of like a blushy highlighter, but it is pretty pigmented. So I've actually really enjoyed this one for the summer because it just kind of makes the skin look really dewy. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit of a Tarte hater just because I don't really like the company, but I do kind of like this product. And then for my liquid highlighter, I don't know if I've shown this one before or not, but I do not like this one. This is, I don't even know what it's called. The name isn't on here. It's like the e.l.f. Illuminizer drops in the color Illuminating. This one is the same thing like with that Sheglam one. It is very oily. This one definitely has a lot more shimmer to it, but it's so oily, I just cannot stand it. I feel like it breaks down the foundation underneath. So I think I'm gonna try to incorporate this back into my makeup collection as like a primer and then mix it with a moisturizer, so it kind of like cuts down on the oiliness but still gives you that like shimmer glow underneath the foundation. So that is my plan for how to work this back into my collection and make it work for me, but I do not love it as its intended purpose. Then for my eyebrow product, we were back to the Missha Ultra Power Proof Cream Brow. This one I like. I just hate that you have to have a separate brush for it, but overall it is a pretty good one, and I think the color's quite nice. Then for my eyeshadow primer, I am still working on this one. I've been using this one for so long. This is the Luscious Angel one. Everything has rubbed off on here, so I'm not quite sure. I can't remember, but I'm still using it. It's a little dark, but I'm still trying to power through it. I am considering like stopping the rotation with eyeshadow primers and just like have that be one of the products that I carry through every single week, just because I would love to like finally finish up a primer, but I haven't decided on that one yet. For my eyeshadow palette, I did mainly like the theme for this month was kind of like small palettes, because I have been doing a lot of large palettes lately, so you'll start to notice my theme of small palettes. So this one is the Natasha Denona Mini Retro palette. So this is one of like the teeny tiny ones. So I didn't have as much like eyeshadow look variety throughout these weeks, but I still like had enough shadows to like do different stuff that didn't like make me bored and like do the literal exact same look every single week. But this one's really pretty because you could go a little bit more on the green route if I was feeling a little adventurous, but then there's like the safe kind of like peachy pink kind of colors in here as well. That was a very good like comfort color. And then for like my miscellaneous eyeshadow product, this is another one I wanted to break out because there was a hot minute I was using this all the time and I love it. This is another Korean brand and it's made by Etude House, and this is called their Air Mousse eyeshadow, and this one's in the color Dazzling Beige. This one is like one of those putty eyeshadows, kind of like a Super Shock shadow, but it's just such a pretty kind of like rose goldy shimmer. I love how this one looks on the eyes, so I definitely loved throwing that into the mix. For my liner for the week, we were back to the Sheglam dual-ended one. I still do not like this for the like wing stamp part. I pretty much just use the regular, or actually it's like a felt tip pen style brush tip on here, which isn't my favorite, but it does get the job done. But I have given up on the stamp side with the wing. It's just not worth the hassle or the mess for me. So I've just been using it that way. Then for my eyeliner, I used another Sheglam eyeliner. I have been loving these. These are just so good. This one is from the Live to Roam collection, and this one is in the color Cobblestone. It's kind of just like a medium, like tan brown, and I just thought it was really pretty and looked nice with the shadows and kind of gave just like a soft definition without it being too harsh. So that one was actually a really pretty color. And then for my lip combo, I actually only had 2 products this time. I have another Sheglam product. This is the Marilyn Monroe lip liner in the color So Are Regrets. This one's just a little bit more of like a brownie beige kind of color, and so I mixed that with the Maybelline Color Jolts. These are also really old. I don't think they sell these anymore, but these are so good. These reminded me of the Too Faced melted lipsticks, but from the drugstore, and this one was such a good one. This one's number 5 stripped down. It's like the perfect kind of like my lips kind of color, like a little bit pink, a little bit brown, nothing too dark. Loved it. And these kind of had like a little bit of a sweet smell, which is really nice. And I really like the applicator on here. It kind of had like one of those really fuzzy like little like brush tips on here, which I quite liked. So honestly, I don't think they make these anymore, but I loved this one, and it's super pigmented and very comfortable. And I forgot a setting spray for that one, so we didn't have a setting spray. And moving on to the next week, here is a sneak peek of this one. I can't remember if I already showed this one or not. This one was the Innisfree My Drop Tone Up Blender. I tried using this as a highlighter. It was terrible, so I'm going to put this in as a priming product, kind of similar with that e.l.f. one. This one just did not do anything for me as a highlighter, so that's how I'm going to try to work it into my collection. And I kind of did like a midweek swap for this one. So this was the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. I really like this one, and I keep forgetting about it. Mine is in shade 2, and I just feel like this is such a pretty like glowy thing to start off with like underneath my foundation, so that is what I used for that week. And then for the actual foundation, I used the Purlisse Ageless Glow Serum BB Cream. I quite like this one. It was a really good color match too. This one's in the color Fair, and this one had a really good amount of coverage to it, and it stayed on my skin really well. So this one's really nice because I feel like you don't have to use a lot of it too. Like, that's the one thing that I have really been taking to heart lately, is not putting on too much foundation, because it never fails that it looks great when you first put it on, and it looks absolutely terrible for me at the end of the day. And the more that I've realized that like less is more with foundation, my skin just looks so much better at the end of the day. And I'm not one of those like touch up midday people like with my makeup. Like, I'm putting on my makeup in the morning and it's just gonna look like whatever it looks like by the end of the day. So I'm just not a touch up person. For my concealer, we are back to the Sheglam one. This one is called the, just kidding, I don't see the name on here, but it's in the color Cotton Candy. I don't really have very strong thoughts on this one, but I did like the color. It's a little bit more of a neutral undertone, so it's not too yellow for me, which is great. For my powder, this is so old, you guys, so old. This is the Maybelline New York Mineral Power Natural Perfecting Powder Foundation. So it is technically a foundation, but my skin is way too dry to use this as a foundation. This one's in the Classic Ivory Light 2, but I did use it as my setting powder, and it worked pretty good, especially with adding a little bit more coverage since it was a powder foundation. But honestly, I am too dry for that. For my contour and bronzer for the week, I use this teeny tiny deluxe sample of this NARS bronzer. This one's in the color Laguna, and I have to say this is so cute. I think I probably got this as like a Sephora birthday gift or something, but NARS, love it. Such a good one. For my blush, I used another really old product. This is from Ulta. It's their Liquid Illuminator in the color Rose Gold. And this one I actually really liked for the blush. It almost has that like bronzer kind of color, like blush bronzer. But I also really like this one, especially since it is a little on the deeper side and warm. I felt like it just kind of gave me a really pretty sun-kissed glow, because I feel like the cool tone blushes just do not work for me. So warm is definitely the way to go. And then this one is from the same set that I got. This one is the Liquid Illuminator Shimmering Pearl. This one I wish it had a little bit more shimmer to it, because it kind of just felt like a little like lotiony oil. So again, I think I'm gonna kind of work this one in as a primer or like a glowy primer, but as far as like the illuminator itself, it wasn't my favorite. For my brows, we were back to the Clean Color Brow Brilliant Brow Gel Cream with blush. This is a lot like that Cello one. This one is pretty dark though, but I had to use a very light hand, and I have talked about this one several times. It is just a little bit on the dark side, but overall I can make it work if I'm a little on the lighter hand. Urban Decay Primer Potion in the color Sin for my eyeshadow primer. The more I've been using this, the more I actually quite like it. I feel like you can still use it like with matte shadows too, because it doesn't give you like a crazy amount of like shine or shimmer, but I do kind of like it. So this one's definitely growing on me. At first I didn't love it, but yeah, it's coming around on me. For my miscellaneous eyeshadow products, I have two like really favorites of mine. So the first one I have here, this is the Kiko Milano Happy B-Day Bellezza Color Shock eyeshadow in rose gold. This one is like a dupe of the Charlotte Tilbury cream shadows, whatever they're called, and I actually feel like these are better, and I feel like they've gotten better with age, because they were very like wet and whippy whenever I first got them, but now that they're kind of drying out a little bit, I kind of feel like the colors are a little bit more intense, but they are starting to dry out, so I kind of want to like prioritize these because these are really good. This one kind of reminds me of the one in Oyster Pearl, which I think was originally called Marie Antoinette, but it's a really pretty kind of like brownie taupe color. So I definitely loved using that one. And then this was like a dupe of the L'Oreal Infallible pigments that they came out with forever ago. And this was from Hard Candy. They called them the Fierce Effect High Intensity Eyeshadows. This one was in a duo, and this one was called Slow and Steady. So I don't know if this is slow or if this is steady, but it's that same kind of packaging where it's like a pressed pigment. It even has like a little stopper in here. These are so good. I wish they like would bring these back, whether it's from L'Oreal or whether it's from Hard Candy. I just loved these so much. And then the regular eyeshadow palette, once again, small palette. This is one from Sephora. It's called the Flash Sequins palette. I'm pretty sure I got this on clearance because for some reason I just like to get these, and I'm really embarrassed to say that whenever I pulled this one to use for my week, I had never used it before. I had probably had it in my collection for who knows how long, and I had never touched it. But overall, I really like the colors of these. They're like, you know, really safe kind of colors for me. A little bit on the taupier side, but I quite liked these. I thought they got the job done. And then I did have another like cream shadow that I wanted to use. This is the Stila Glitter and Glow, and this one was in the color Lilac Ice. I had a phase where like every time I would see these at like Marshall's or TJ Maxx or wherever, I would buy like every single one I could find. So I really want to, oh no, the tip. You guys, the tip just broke off into here. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to see if I can take the stopper out of here because literally the tip just broke off in here. Are you kidding me? This one is such a pretty eyeshadow too. It's like that really like lavendery sparkle pink that was so pretty. I can't believe that just broke. I can't believe that just broke. I literally just used this like the week before last. What the hell? For my eyeliners, for my black eyeliner, I used this one I hate. This one's from Bella Pierre. I might boot this one. I hate it so bad. Not because it's like bad like at application or anything, but the removal process of this sucks major ass. It's like one of those ones that doesn't like fade away when you're like taking your makeup off. It's the kind that like balls up into little black specks all over your face and makes a major mess, and it kind of turns into like little balls of eyelash glue. I hate this one so much, so this one just might have to get booted. For my eyeliner, another Sheglam. This one is the Chromazone collection, and it's in the color Subliminal. This one's actually really pretty because it is like a duochrome eyeshadow. It kind of gave off like a copper color on the waterline, but the only thing is I feel like it doesn't really show up and last. Like it looks pretty if you swatch it, but like when you apply it to the waterline, it just fades really quickly. So as cool as like duochromes are and like multi-chrome products, I just feel like they don't last very well. So unfortunately, I just feel like this one didn't show up very good, but it was still really pretty. Like you could see it right when you applied it, but it didn't last long. Then for my lip combo, like I said, we've been going crazy with the lip liners. So this one's a really bright pink. This one's from AOA Studio. It's called the Wonder Lip Liner, and this one's in the color Fab. So this one is like a hot pink kind of color. So once again, I would kind of like apply it and smudge it out a little bit so it didn't look as crazy, and then I would try to use more like neutral color products to like make it look a little bit less crazy. So this one is the NYX High Voltage lipstick in the color Mirage. It's in the color Mirage. This one I really like. It's kind of like that concealery lip kind of color almost. I've had this for so long, but these are actually really good. I like the creaminess to them, and they are just really easy to apply because they are that slim line lipstick, which I love. I just wish the cap would stay on better, but I've had this for so long, but they're pretty good. And then I topped it off with the Sheglam Wonka lip gloss. I actually quite like this one a lot. This one's in the color Milk and Cookies. It's just kind of like that pinky brown, so it kind of helped mellow out the pink. And then finally for my setting spray, once again, I used the Etude House Glow On setting spray. I really like this one. It does feel a little thick though, but it kind of feels like a gel in here, but then it sprays out like a mist. So I think it's really cute that it's shaped like a light bulb too. All right, and for the last week here, I'm gonna try to power through this. I don't know what my time is like, but I'm trying to keep on this. So for my primer for the week, I brought out, once again, another Sheglam product that I showed recently. This one was the Melon Melt Niacinamide Serum Primer. So far I've been liking this one. It really does remind me a lot of Glow Recipe, but it smells really good too. So I like that it kind of has like that watermelon-y scent. For my foundation, I hated this so much. This is definitely one of those products that has no business being in a dropper bottle. This one is the AOA Studio A+ Buildable Satin Foundation. This one is like cream in a bottle. There is no way this dropper bottle is functional at all, and I remember it being like that from day one. It says shake well. You can shake until the cows come home. You are not going to get anything out of here, and it is like a thick cream. So I do not love that, and there's really no way to get the product out of here because you can't cut it open. It's a glass bottle. So really all you can do is get what you can get off of the stick from the dropper and then like peel out the little stopper, but still there's so much makeup waste that you will never be able to get all the makeup out of here. So that is very unfortunate, and I hate whenever makeup companies just do something because it's trendy like dropper bottles, but then don't consider the consistency of the product they're putting in the dropper bottle. So don't love this one. And the color was very orange on me, which is strange. Then for my concealer, this one is the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer Matte Finish one. This is one that is in way too light of a color for me. This one's Fair Rose. I did like the undertone of it, but it's just way too light. And this was like when I was in my phase of buying super bright concealers, and I don't like that look anymore. I don't know why I ever did that. It was like one of those things that like makeup social media brainwashed me to do, and I don't like it. Then for my setting powder, I'm actually almost done with this one. This was the Everyday Vacay Coconut Setting Powder from Ciate London. I don't think they're a brand anymore. I really loved this one. It has a really nice coconut smell, so I am going to be really sad whenever I finish this one up because it was a really nice like light refreshing kind of powder. It did have a little bit of a white cast, but I didn't mind it because I'm so pale and that foundation was too dark. For my brows, I was back to the Missha Melting Brow Powder. I wish this was just a little bit cooler because I actually really like the formula now that I've been playing with it a lot. It's kind of like a powder that like melts into a liquid on contact with the skin, so it's very interesting. But it is just on the warm side, which is unfortunate. If it was like a cooler gray brown, oh, it'd be so awesome. For my contour, I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Shadow Stick Foundation. This one's in the color Contour. I forgot about how much I loved this. It's really good. It's a perfect kind of contour shade for me. So this one was great. It blends out so well too. Then I paired that with my e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush in the color Dusty Rose. Such a good one. This is well worth it. This is such a nice color on me too. Once again, it is a warm toned blush. Loved this one. You need the tiniest bit. It is so pigmented and easy to blend. For my highlighter, I hated this. I got this a million billion years ago. This is from Algenist and it's called the Reveal Concentrated Luminizing Drops. Once again, a product that has no business of being in a dropper bottle. It's that same problem where it's just like a thick cream, and you might be thinking, Lauren, is it that just because it's a million billion billion years old? No, I remember buying this from day one and it was this thick cream. So no, it's not just because it's old, it's because the product doesn't make sense. This one was the gold one, I think. I also had a pink one that I finally used up. But once again, I do not like this as a highlighter, so I'll probably just work it in as like a glowy primer to use it up. Almost through. For my eyeshadow primer, Etude House Proof 10 eyeshadow primer. I've talked about this one so many times. It's okay. It's fine. It's okay. My eyeshadow palette, another Wet n Wild one. This is the color Icon in the color Camo Flaunt. This one, I did not go anywhere near this one because it's like one of those glitters like pressed in a gel, and on my day-to-day basis I don't need a glitter pressed in a gel like that, so I skipped that one. So I just used these two here and these two here. Overall I do quite like those, but honestly I kind of wish this wasn't in here and I wish there was just like another regular eyeshadow that I would use. But it definitely got the job done, but I didn't have that much variety in my eyeshadow looks for that week. And then I have another like random eyeshadow product. This is the Ace Beauty Glimmer Shadow in Cotton Candy. It's another one of those like Super Shock Shadow kind of dupes. Even has like the similar pattern in here, but it's very pretty. I love it. It's like a rose goldy pinky orange kind of reflect one. It's super pretty, so I definitely loved using that one, and I love that the packaging is pink. For my eyeliner, another one of the Sheglam eyeliners. Yes, I have a lot of Sheglam eyeliners, and this is another one of the Cosmic Come Up ones. This was just the black one in Dark Matter. I think it actually had a little bit of like a micro shimmer to it, but it just looked like a black eyeliner, and I have not worn black eyeliner in so long, but I kind of just like smudged it on the lower lash line, just on the outer corners, and it actually looked really pretty, and I kind of like doing that again. I don't like doing like the crazy black thick liner on my under eyes. It just brings me back to like 7th grade and it just looks really dated, so I don't like that, but just a little bit on the outer corners can be quite nice. Then for my liquid liner, I use the LA Colors liquid liner. I'm pretty sure I got this one like in a pinch when I just like needed to get something like at the Dollar Tree. This one does have a really long brush. Overall, this one's okay. It does kind of do the same thing as like that Bella Pierre one, but not nearly as bad as that one, so I can probably get through using this one. For my lip combo for the week, another hot pink lip liner. This one is really old, but I still love it. This one is from NYX, and it was in the color Pinky. It's just like a hot pink lip liner, so I did the same thing where I'd kind of apply it a little bit on the handed side, and then I used the Wet n Wild Cloud Pout Marshmallow Lip Mousse. This one's in the color Cotton Candy, so it was a little bit pinker, and I topped that with the NYX Butter Gloss in the color Meringue, so I just went like super pink for that week and just kind of embraced the pink. And then finally for my setting spray, I used the e.l.f. Illuminating Mist and Set Spray. I really like this one out of all of the ones that I have in my collection right now, and I'm actually almost done with this one. Probably like 2 more rotations and I will probably have this one finished. Alright guys, so that is it for this month of my monthly Shop My Stash for May. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do have a kind of more of a theme going on for June, so that one's going to be a really fun month, so definitely keep your eyes open in early July for my next Shop My Stash, because I think you guys are gonna really like this one. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on social media. Links are below. Until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.